This is the ASICS Novablast 5, and I think it's everything you need to start running. This summer, I started to run, and if I learned anything about running, the most important part of running is the shoes. Here's the long story short. If you don't have time to watch this entire video, I just want to let you know that this shoe is fantastic. I think it's great value for the money. And if you're looking for a new running shoe or you're just getting started in running, I think this is going to be a great pickup for 99% of people. It's a really good shoe. I highly recommend it. Now, if you want more details, I am a new runner and I actually ran my first half marathon ever just 2 days ago, this last Sunday. I ran a 2 hour and 6 minute half marathon, 13 miles. It's the longest I've ever run in my entire life. I've actually never ran over 6 miles in my entire life. So I went into this half marathon with pretty minimal training and not a lot of miles on my legs. And I was expecting a lot of pain, specifically in my shins and my knees. But after those 13 miles, my entire body was in shambles, but I didn't feel any pain in my feet, my knees, or my shins, which is a miracle for me, honestly. One of the reasons why I've always avoided running long distances was because of those types of pains. But in these, they're so comfortable, they're plush, and they're supportive, which is really rare for me to find in a shoe because I have kind of weird feet. I have low arches, I have long toes, and I have a medium-ish width in my foot. So it makes shoes a little bit hard for me to find sometimes, but these shoes were amazing. These held up really well for me. I'm a slower runner, and I think it was everything that I could have asked for in my first running shoe. So just breaking down the shoe into its parts, the cushioning is made of ASICS Blast Max. It's kind of like their latest iteration of foam. It's something that's marketed to be really well cushioned, soft, but yet just a little bit of responsiveness and that trampoline effect that you get in a lot of more premium foams. And it's pretty much exactly how I would describe this shoe. It's very plush, it's comfortable, but you feel a lot of feedback underneath your shoe. It's exactly how I would describe my experience in these shoes. Very easy on like your joints and your feet, and you just get that little bit of that trampoline effect that a lot of people desire. Kind of pushes you forward just enough. This type of cushioning I think is great for kind of like everyday running and walking, especially at slower tempos. And most importantly, I think it's really nice on my joints, which is important for me. Stability. When you're playing sports at like 20 plus something years old, you're kind of doing it recreationally and to kind of stay fit. The biggest part of staying fit is just trying to be as injury free as possible. I know so many people that have picked up muscle injuries, joint injuries, ankle sprains, knee sprains, tears. Those are the worst things that can happen to you, especially if you're not doing this for money. So with shoes, I always look at that. If I step a little bit off center or I step onto a crack or a slightly raised curb, will it protect my foot and my ankle from overextending? And these definitely do that. They just have enough stability. They just have enough like sideways stability where it's like you're not just constantly worried about you rolling over your foot. That being said, if you are trying to play pickleball or tennis or basketball in these or something like that, it's just not going to work out. It's built like a running shoe. It's made for forwards motion and forward motions only. If you go side to side or you hard stop and you try and turn, your foot's definitely just going to turn over the footbed and you're just going to twist your ankle. But the big question is, are these shoes stable enough for you to not just pick up a common injury? Yes. The upper for me is one of the highlights of this shoe. It's very containing. There's almost no heel slippage, and it's very thin and breathable, which I find to be amazing. I have some pretty sweaty feet, and I was really worried that after the 13 miler in the heat, I would get a lot of blisters on my foot from my foot just kind of rubbing together while it's wet or sliding on the insole, but I got none of that. The lockdown was amazing. The laces didn't untie one time, and to this day I have had no durability problems with the upper as of yet. My foot is 11.2 inches long. I got a size 11 and it fits me perfectly. Traction. I've had no problems with traction, although I'm not a maniac and I don't run in the rain. So I have heard that these do have pretty bad slipping problems on wet pavement. So if you are in a situation where you run in the wet a lot, I really would not recommend these for that. I've seen videos of people just like pure sliding on these in like pretty damp conditions. So these are mainly reserved for like drier days or indoor running. For me, the most important part of any shoe is how cool are they? Do they look amazing? Do you feel good when you put them on? If it's not that cool, then no one wants to buy it. Like, it's just bumming, right? The shoe can perform, but is it perfectly boring? These ASICS are just okay in terms of coolness for me. I don't think they're particularly special, except for that like Bandit colorway that I couldn't get my hands on a couple of months ago. Those were sick. But all the other colorways on ASICS are pretty lackluster in my opinion. Like, of course, you could always go like all black or all white. You can't go wrong with like an all white shoe. But it kind of sucks because I feel like the most important part of shoes these days is definitely just like how cool you feel in them. So just rounding it up, I think there has been a price increase. These used to be $140 a couple of months ago, but now they're $150 on ASICS website. And I think it's because of the tariffs. They're just rolling in, just making all these products overseas way more expensive. But for $140, it's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, it's just like the common price for a daily running shoe. And I think it represents fantastic value in its market. If you're a beginner and you just kind of want one shoe to do it all, I ran the half in these and I walk around in these. I do a little bit of jogging and running in these as well. And I plan on putting on even more miles in these shoes. I think it's great if you only need one shoe to do it all and you're very casual. And I think it's great if you're training for something and you're trying to run a lot faster. Only situation these shoes don't really work in is one, the wet, and two, I think if you're running sub like 1:45 half marathons, you're running a little bit too fast for the lack of responsiveness in this cushioning setup. I definitely think you need something a little bit firmer, maybe a carbon plated shoe or a foam that gives you a little bit more energy return. Rougher on your body, yes, but it's just generally faster and you're running for time. These are not going to be great shoes for you. Definitely go with like a racier shoe. I've heard the Adidas Evo SLs are fantastic for that, for around $150 as well, if you're looking for a shoe that you're racing in, but you could still kind of wear casually and use as an everyday trainer. I love these shoes. I think if they were to die, I would definitely buy a different pair. I kind of like this colorway. I saw it online and it looked kind of nasty, but it's grown on me quite a lot. It's a nice blue. At least in the running / walking space, I think they're just fantastic for a lot of different people, different feet and foot shapes. I think the upper is very bendable and moldable. I think it's just a fantastic all-around shoe. And yeah, there you have it. My first shoe review of all time. I hope to do more of these, and I'll see you guys later.